Welcome to the brand new home of the Round of Ohio, just outside of Port Clinton, Ohio, the Catawba Central International Circuit. Or International Raceway, I'm sorry. John Arndt is on the pole with Jake Baskinger second. Kenny and Matty Myatt are third and fourth. Great to see Kenny Myatt back. And as you go through the order, you can see that there are a lot of one-off drivers that are making their attempts, as this is a special event race, so 50 points are on the grabs today. Sean Perkins in the top 12, which was Q4, because in starting with this race and from now on, there will be 4 qualifying sessions for one-off races. Essentially, it's the same qualifying system, however, positions 37 through 42 are determined via Q1 rather than everything else. This track is noticeably difficult. A lot of drivers have complained about the bumpy entrance and exit to a corner called the roller coaster on this turn. It is a left-hand downhill corner that immediately causes you to go up before entering it, so it loads your car all funny, and it causes a lot of instability going over that hill, going downhill and diving to the left. It's going to be a very difficult track for a lot of people to master, especially 42 cars. This track is not the easiest around. However, it is a great embrace to ARCSOA's history and the American stock cars history here, racing's history here in Ohio, which is, of course, the birthplace of American stock car racing here. This track, I think, suits Ohio a lot better than the old Findlay Raceway, the Ohio Motor Speedway in Findlay did. A little half-mile oval that was prone to flooding due to the Blanchard River consistently changing course and flooding every time that there was a slight drizzle. So without further ado, let's go down to what could be one of the toughest races in all of ARCSOA history, the Hall of Fame Grand Prix here at the Catawba Central International Raceway. As I stated, John Arndt is on the pole here for what could be one of the toughest races that these drivers have ever experienced. Green flag is out, and away we go here at the Catawba Central International Raceway. Kenny Myatt didn't get a great start. Sean Perkins did. And here they go down into turn number 1. Looks like Arndt got a good start there. Matty Myatt's going to slot into third. A little further back, though, we got some cars stacking up a little bit here. That was DJ Curtis going wide there. And we got a couple other cars going wide. That's Monaco there. Monaco and that was Shepard slide through the order there pretty quickly there. And this is where turns get very difficult here. Roush is around. Monaco, Bouchard, one of the championship contenders, is in it. No damage as they come running up to the roller coaster. This was originally supposed to be a banked corner. However, they currently changed it in order to accommodate a more difficult corner there. And luckily, everybody seems to have gotten away without any serious damage. A couple of cars did fall to the back, like Scott Roush and Aiden Shepard. However, as they rocket kind of around this very slow section of the course, they come down to kind of a S-bend complex. There you can see the new 96 car of Bobby Jones. Jones, of course, got moved to the 96 when Kenny Myatt returned a bit earlier than anybody thought he would. And here they go through the chicane complex down here, as Arndt continues to lead over Baskinger, Myatt, or Matty Myatt, Sean Perkins, James Shelley, and Kenny Myatt, with Nick Pericles fighting there as well. Kenny Myatt did not get a good start to this race. He's, of course, one of the few drivers that have tested here as a part of his rehab project. He tested here 2 weeks ago when everyone else was in Australia. So it's him versus Nick Pericles going through the chicane. This is where a lot of stuff gets very crazy down here. Track limits basically are pretty lenient here. As you can see, look at how bumpy it is down through that roller coaster entrance there. But down the hill they come. Baskinger's right there as well. It's bumpy on the exit too. Like I said, that corner was supposed to be a banked corner, but they got rid of the banked idea there when they were designing it. I think they ran out of money to really do the banking, and they also ran into some trouble with the paddock area being behind there. But as we go through this field here, this is where things are getting very, very crazy here as they kind of fly down around some of these corners down here. Sean Perkins, like I said, had an amazing start in his one-off campaign. I don't think he has any points even. And with Vincent Allen sitting on 25 points, being the one-off champion. Where is Vincent Allen, by the way? He did qualify for this race. He is outside of the points. So Vincent Allen is got a long way to go here in this race if Sean Perkins does do his best here. Remember, there is one more one-off race where these drivers can get points as Tauger, all the way from the 30s on the grid, now is up the order to position number 20. Fighting for 19th now. Tauger is a man on a move. Here comes Halleck down below Rahal. Jones is still holding strong. He's a major championship contender, but he's got to get into the top 15 if he's going to score any points. Dodd, who started in the 20s now, is in the points as well. So Dodd, the points leader, is looking to do his best as well here. As here comes Kyle Bisceglia and Ike Durbin. Ike Durbin, former American 700 victor here, is trying to get points as well, as Bisceglia does a great job on the outside of the roller coaster and gets over some of those hills pretty easily. You got to be really careful over those, or else you're going to hurt your suspension. While battling for positions here, Zayden Davidson would slide off the road, making his weekend go from bad to worse. He hasn't really done a whole lot today, or all weekend here, and he slid off the track. Believe it or not, this has been a cleaner start than anybody really expected around this track. This track is a wild and crazy track, and we're kind of surprised that they're behaving as well as they are. Madeline Myatt now is all trying to really chase down Jake Baskinger for the lead as they go down through the roller coaster again. Here, this is, like I said, one of those hard tracks. Actually, look at Baskinger catch air there. You don't want to do that over those bumps too bad, because you will damage the underside of your car doing that. And look at how far back Kenny Myatt's fallen. Maybe he did push his return a little too quickly here, as he has fallen from 3rd on the grid all the way down to 8th since the start of this race. And I'm surprised by how clean the start of this race has been. Oh, Scott Roush with problems. Yeah, it looks like Roush just would come down pit road and maybe have an issue with his car here. It looks like he has some right side damage from earlier, so tough break for Roush. We missed it, but on lap 3, Eric Monaco also was on pit road for a long time, getting some work done to his car, so that's going to be a tough break for him. He was still a long shot, I think, for the championship, but I think right there that kind of crushed any hope he had. Because remember, you have to be within 70 points of the leader leaving this race. Noah Hart is one of the major championship contenders here, and he's right now chasing down Nick Pericles, who still has a shot at this. He pretty much needs to win, though, today or in Amaria to get that championship, and he would need to do really well at the Exbalto Islands as well here. And you're going to see this track isn't exactly the easiest to pass on either. There's a lot of twists on this track, so it might need a little bit of work here in the future, but to really get going. But yep, we're just going to kind of see what happens with this race. We would have our first car that will require getting a tow back to the pits, as William Brock would lose control of the car, and then something would also be wrong with it, so we'd pull it kind of behind the tire wall there, and he would get a tow back to the pits. So tough break for Brock. Now Christian Vanderpesch from 27th on the grid. He's had a miserable day. Would bring it down pit road as well, so he's having a lot of problems with his car as well. So tough break for Vanderpesch now. Kenny Myatt and Noah Hart would continue their legendary duels with each other, as Myatt would dive underneath Noah Hart. This is the first car I think he's tried to pass all day since coming back here, and Myatt would get underneath Hart and take the position away from Noah Hart. However, on the next lap, Noah Hart's turn to now try and take over the spot, back away from Myatt, and he would get it back. So the two FBR cars are duking it out here. Remember, Kenny Myatt pretty much still in championship contention. However, he's pretty much going to have to win here to do it. John Arndt would get a bad run off the final corner coming at the end of lap 6 here, and Jake Baskinger would get underneath him for the lead of the race here. And I think this is going to be a pretty easy move here by Baskinger, because once, right there, Arndt slid wide again, so Baskinger takes over the lead of the race. Then on the next lap, Madeline Myatt would get underneath John Arndt for second position here. So now Myatt now takes over P2 in the race here on the end of lap 9, or on beginning lap 9, or she hasn't gotten it yet here. She's still fighting back, though, on the outside of the first part of the chicane here. That forces Arndt wide, and Myatt takes over second. Meanwhile, Jake Baskinger has kind of accelerated off into the lead here. This is what Baskinger wants to do in comparison to Myatt and Arndt here. There's James Shelley in 4th. Sean Perkins remains in 5th. Nick Pericles needs a better run than where he's running in 6th. Noah Hart in 7th. And then Will Hoyt and Myatt are dueling out for 8th. Myatt has lost that spot to Will Hoyt, and Will Hoyt is another guy on a mission here to get out the grid here. Bisceglia is in 10th position, and Ike Durbin's in 11th. As we go through the order here, big mover's been actually it's actually been Jack Halleck and Chris Dodd. Dodd now is trying to get into the top 15 here to get points today. That's what he's got to do. Oh, crash! Scott Roush would turn Tyler Thaber into the outside wall. He would go back across the track and then put it into the wall on the back side of the course over there. We're on board with Aiden Shepard, and you're just going to see Thaber disappear and then come flying across the track into the wall over there, and then there's a little bit of contact between Roush and Shepard there, and that would put Thaber effectively out of the race. Davidson's on pit road with a couple of tires going down, I believe, or a tire going down. This track has been very abrasive on tires, so it's been a very difficult one for Davidson. Roush looks like he's also wrecked again here, so we got to take a look and see what happened to Scott Roush. No, this was actually just from the first incident here. We didn't exactly see where Roush got all this damage from, but he did, actually. He got a lot of rear-end damage there. I didn't notice that, so... Yeah, Roush would actually drive it back to pit road and would actually be on pit road for a while getting some damage repaired. Noah Hart and Tristan Wilhoit are trying to get up through the order a little bit here. That is Nick Pericles and Sean Perkins in front of them. They are a bit faster, at least, than Perkins. Perkins has been pretty slow, actually, last couple of laps here, comparative to Pericles, Hart, and Wilhoit. Wilhoit's actually been one of the fastest cars on the track with a 1:16.1. And like I'm saying, the only driver that's really been near that has been actually Jake Baskinger, who's did on 1:15.4, which I don't think anybody's been anywhere near all day a 1:15 at all. I don't think anybody's even broken into a 1:15, let alone a 1:15.4. Oh no, we got one with a 1:15. Sean Angel did a 1:15.9. But still, that just shows kind of what you got to do around this Catawba Central International Raceway here. One of the tougher tracks on the schedule there is, looks like Pericles got by Perkins. That's a big move. Yeah, Perkins didn't get a great run off the last corner, and that's going to set Pericles up to grab the position into turn 1 here. And actually, the driver that you have to watch then is Noah Hart, because Noah Hart is all over the back of Sean Perkins. Jake Baskinger would encounter his first lap car in William Brock. I'm sorry, I almost called that car Bobby Jones. That's the car that Jones started the season in. Maddie Myatt does a 1:15.6, so she is actually closing quite massively here on Baskinger, 8/10 that lap. As, once again, the bumpy roller coaster section is just going to be a nightmare for them all day. And that section of track's really been taking a beating out of a lot of drivers. The prime passing zone's been into turn number 1 here as Noah Hart puts on a show here, getting by Sean Perkins, and dives underneath Sean Perkins for that position, and Will Hoyt's going to try next. Jake Baskinger, the leader, would make his scheduled pit stop here on lap 15. We're thinking Matty Myatt's going to stay out an extra lap. Oh, John Art loses it from third. John Art lost it from third position, and we've got some goil down there maybe or something, as Pericles went off as well. We got cars all over the place down there. You've got Bisceglia spinning there, down there, as cars are all trying to get on a pit road and can't really figure out how to do that. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure, as a bunch of other cars finally get to pit road, but John Art from third position, I think, just kissed his championship hopes realistically goodbye there with some rear-end damage there, as did Nick Pericles. They both have extensive rear-end damage from their contacts with the tire wall down there in the chicane. And we're hearing there was no oil down there. It was Pericles spun because the dirt that aren't kicked up, and Arndt just spun it on his own down there. So that turn's been a tough one here. We're on board with Kenny Myatt, who Bisceglia just passed Kenny Myatt. Bisceglia goes wide entering that corner there and just spins right off the road. And Kenny Myatt would avoid a lot of that contact there. Championship contender Noah Hart from third would spin down there as well. It seems like when people are trying to pit, that's a big problem down there. And you're going to see Kyle Bisceglia is going to throw it wide again down there too. So when people are trying to signal to pit, it looks like cars are deciding to not be under control down there. As looks like Bisceglia spins again there. And a bunch of other cars are all trying to pit down there. Cody Lamas would also lose it down there, as you can see from the left side damage. So we got cars all over the place down there trying to enter that corner. And that's just going to be a very difficult thing getting on pit road here. Matty Myatt would rejoin the race, however, behind Jake Baskinger, however, not by much. Right there, that proves it. Erzan Zuman-Bekov has really climbed his way up the order a little bit here, as looks like the Silver Speed cars are really struggling here as we go through the order a bit here. Kenny Myatt's up the order now a little bit, pit stop strategy. However, Jake Baskinger continues to lead this race, and we know that that pit road entrance is going to be a bit of an issue. So Baskinger leads over Madeline Myatt in second. Third place is James Shelley now. Fourth is Sean Perkins. Fifth is Will Hoyt. Sixth is Ike Durbin. Seventh is Kenny Myatt. Durbin just got by Myatt. Eighth is Eric DeMax. Ninth is Vince Fries. 10th is Sean Angel, major championship contender there. Jack Halleck 11th, Tauger 12th, Jones 13th, Arndt is 14th, 15th is Pericles, 16th is Padcar, 17th is Zuman-Bekov, and what happened to Chris Dodd? Oh, there's Noah Hart in the damaged 18 car. What he wants to see, though, is Dodd not get points either. That's going to be a big benefit to him, is to not see Dodd in the points. And there's not a lot of really front runners in the points that are up near the front of the grid. 4-car pitted, because Dornan Bouchard's down in 28th, so I'm looking to where the 11 car is as well, because the 11's up there. He's in 21st, so a lot of these major championship contenders that are high in the championship order aren't having good days. Bobby Jones, out of the top 4 in points, is the only one that's really having a strong day. Tauger kind of is, and he's in 13th, just barely hanging on to the points there. Bobby Jones is, like I said, I'm going up the order. Angel's up there too, but a little higher than him. But it's going to be a very difficult, hard fight the rest of this race, I think, especially with that pit road entrance. Noah Hart, while battling with Christian Vanderpesch, would experience another off-down in his least favorite corner on the track, and around he would go into the tire wall down there as well, and actually he would get hung up on the curbing a little bit there. That's a very high curve down there. We had another incident on the pit road cycle here. We've missed this one, but Benjamin Dover, the rookie, slid wide and hit that pit wall, exit wall, the outside pit wall there. That pit road entrance is a little bit of a nightmare, isn't it? But right there, Benjamin Dover brings it down pit road, and he would fall all the way back to 35th. And Dover would have some more issues with his car as well, so that's not good for Benjamin Dover. Madeline Myatt now is really closing in there on the leader, Jake Baskinger. Myatt last lap was about a full 2 seconds faster than Baskinger. However, Baskinger has kind of picked up the pace here this lap here and actually gained a 10th on her. So it's going to be a duel between these two drivers, I think, for the majority of this race, unless if that pit road entrance catches either one of them off guard or if something else strange happens. Eddie Shimpadkar, a major championship contender still, is not having a great day, down in 21st position. Behind him is points leader Chris Dodd and DJ Curtis, another championship contender down the order as well. Kyle Bichelle has been up and down this field, I think, twice now, practically, and he is now one of the faster cars on the track at this stage. However, he is a long way down the order. He's spun out twice down in the chicane, so he's got a long way to catch back up there. Jake Baskinger now is being held up by Noah Hart, and this is where things are going to get pretty dicey for him, because now Noah Hart is going to, I think, be essentially... Hart is not very quick right here. He hasn't really come to grips with this track very well, and now Baskinger needs to find a way around him. And Matty Myatt sees a struggling fish up there holding up race leader Jake Baskinger. This is her time to pounce. She's really got to do well here, although didn't look like Hart got a great run off that corner there. Oh, we got a big crash there with it looked like a pad car, and we had a crash a little further back too. That was James Shelley, so all 3 Silver Speeds have wrecked down in that corner now. Shelley would just, Jones was the one that slid, or I'm sorry, Brock was the one that slid out of control, and then Shelley joined him in the process. When one car loses control down there, it just seems like a bunch of them tend to. Eddie Shimpadkar would get spun actually down pit road here and lose it and then go outside of the track. It's a tough break for Padcar there. Padcar would have to get back around the track there. Now it would be Myatt's turn to deal with the slow 18 car. The 18, like I said, has been struggling, so things are going to get pretty intense here. How does the 18 get off the corner? Looks like the 1 gets a better run, but the 1 is not close enough to make a move here to lap the 18 car. Vincent Allen is in the points now. He is, of course, the part-time championship leader here, and he's the 4th remaining Silver Speed car. Of course, he's in a year-older model car, or a couple-year-older model car, actually. And he is the only one that hasn't spun out of the Silver Speed Brigade down in that crazy corner down there. Looks like Pericles is going to try a 3-wide move here with the lap car there. Pericles might be trying to go for points. Remember, he's a championship contender overall, and he needs as many points as he can get. He's not going to get it there, though. Ike Durbin and Tristan Wilhoit. Ike Durbin, of course, is a part-time championship contender as well. Durbin will get the spot away from Wilhoit. Wilhoit's, of course, lost a couple spots right there on his start there, as Perkins is now up to 3rd, as it looks like Matty Myatt's still struggling to get a run on Noah Hart here. That's going to be a big move ask for them here, as they're all kind of log jammed further back behind Bobby Jones here. And this is where I keep saying that's Bobby Jones, it's William Brock there. I keep forgetting Bobby Jones is in the 96 car, not William Brock. So, very interesting battle here now, as Wilhoit's now trying to set up Ike Durbin for 5th in this race. Remember, Sean Perkins is also a part-time championship contender, so Vincent Allen was essentially running away with it because nobody did very well at Indianapolis, but now Sean Perkins is becoming a factor in this race as well, and this part-time championship as well, which Vincent Allen really wasn't expecting. Matty Myatt is getting incredibly frustrated with Noah Hart because Hart has been incredibly slow in front of her, and Baskinger's been pulling away because of it. And Myatt just doesn't get off that corner before the chicane very well. And there's been a lot of concerns with this chicane. We're actually hearing that maybe for next year they might remove it and just make it a straight shot all the way down to the start-finish line with maybe a kink in it, which actually would be a pretty fun corner. They've changed this track's design before. I mean, even before it was built, they changed it once to add the roller coaster. Here comes Tristan Wilhoit with Ike Durbin now, and Ike Durbin gets a much better run off the corner than Wilhoit. Kenny Mike gets a better run than DeMax off the corner. DeMax took the spot away from Myatt earlier in the lap. However, Myatt's fighting back now. Myatt, of course, has not had a very good race here. He's had a good weekend coming back from injury, but he hasn't had a good race, which he was hoping he would, considering it's his home race. Despite Madeline Myatt now falling 3.4 seconds behind Jake Baskinger, Baskinger has over a 14-second lead to 3rd place with Sean Perkins and James Shelley in 4th with Ike Durbin 5th. Wilhoit's been stuck behind the log-jammed William Brock car. Myatt's following Wilhoit through and possibly going to challenge Wilhoit for that spot there. Of course, this is where things get very, very close down here through the first half of this track. Things are very difficult through here, and especially with everybody kind of log-jammed up here. Like I said, this track doesn't have a terrible load of passing opportunities on it. And the problem has been is that the one passing area that this track has been known for has been down into Turn 1. However, Matty Myatt's a lot more conservative through there than Noah Hart's been. And that's because that allows Hart to get away, but then it backs her up later in the lap, because Hart everywhere else is slower than Myatt. John Arndt, the pole sitter, is still in the points despite having a damaged car, so that's good for Arndt here, because Arndt's going to need points. I think he needs more than this, though. He needs to really pull something out of the hat here or in the Baltimore Islands to have a shot, really. Although, like I said, not a lot of people are at the top of the order are really gaining points today, so I think we're going to be expecting Jake Baskinger to be pitting pretty soon here. Meanwhile, Madeline Myatt is still stuck behind the 18 car, and you're just seeing the frustration there as she's losing this race because she can't seem to get through the chicane with aggression the way that she wants to, as Baskinger will stay out again here. Looks like Roush is going to bring it down pit road, be the first car to pit. And just look at how rough Myatt got off that corner there. That's where she's losing all of her speed, is through that last corner. Vince Freeze would also bring it down pit road as well, nearly clobbered that pit wall there, as you got cars just sliding through that S-bend. That S-bend is a very complex S. Very high curbs there, and if you touch those curbs wrong, you can lose control of your car quite easily here. As there's Kyle Bisceglia, another championship contender, not having a great race today. Down the order here. Just a whole lot of trouble for some of these drivers. Baskinger on track actually is beginning to catch the rear of the field here. As, however, he should be pitting pretty soon, but remember, when they come back out, he will be in the thick of things. Actually, as Baskinger goes a little wide there, as Baskinger looks like he is going to bring it down pit road. Myatt is going to stay out another lap here and maybe take over the lead of the race here, hoping that Hart would pit. And this is where things get very interesting because, oh, Shelley and the Silver Speed, it just proves that those new Silver Speeds cannot control that corner well. And right there, another Silver Speed goes off the track down there. That kicks up a lot of dirt, so that might actually send some more cars going sailing off down there. I kind of saw that one coming. Ooh, we got a race here between Ace Vito and Roush. Roush is, of course, a lap down. That's a really awkward place to catch somebody there. And then Pericles brings it down pit road there. You kind of have to fire down pit road there. Make sure you don't wreck it on that outside pit road wall there. Very difficult pit road entry here at this track. I can't keep highlighting that enough. Tristan Wilhoit and Kenny Myatt would also stay out to take over provisional second and third behind Matty Myatt here. But like I said, this is where things, you just got to be really careful here on your pit stop cycles here. Baskinger, I think, has already left the pits once again here. And that's what he wants to see, except he's being held up in traffic here. Matty Myatt, of course, got some left side damage from somewhere. I think that was contact with maybe the pit road entrance wall. Here she comes down pit road. Oh, Wilhoit lost it! I said there was dirt down there, and Wilhoit has now put it into the tires down there, so that's not good for Wilhoit. And here we go once again. We got cars sliding off here. That's Bobby Jones in it. Ace Vito overcooks it entering the corner as well there. As we've got cars just trying to hold on as much as they possibly can. And Bobby Jones is a major championship contender who's put it into the fence down there. Curtis also would go off the road down there as well, so just got to be very careful there. And they would actually spin off on the curbs there as well. The one car would have an extended stay on pit road here. That would lose her a ton of time here as they had to fix that damage. So Kenny Myatt would actually beat her out. So Sean Perkins now is P2 on track here, over 15 seconds behind Jake Baskinger. Due in part to Jake Baskinger's immense speed, he has lapped all the way up to 15th position here. Baskinger is currently really quick here. A bunch of cars, actually, DJ Curtis had to get a lot of damage repaired. A couple of these other cars have that roller coasters really putting a lot of punch on some of these drivers here. There's Kyle Bisceglia in 12th. A bunch of cars had to pit there for a long period of time there, and that's really hurting them here. Actually, Noah Hart didn't have to pit, and now he is in 11th position. However, he's probably still going to have to pit again here. And he actually is gaining a bit of speed here. He's not that far off the pace anymore after doing some adjustments on that pit stop. Problems for the one car of Matty Myatt. We knew that car was having issues, but now she just grenaded it. And that's it for car number one. One of the only cars that I think could have challenged Baskinger all day is now out of the race. And the 73 of Baskinger now, and there's Chase Dunbar a number of laps down. He had a couple of issues there on pit road. And then, of course, Lamas had to get a tow back. He right now is essentially smooth sailing back to Sean Perkins. Perkins is, like I said, the only other car in the same time zone as him, and that's pretty far as well. So Baskinger is just clear sailing right now. Noah Hart would have to pit again here. This would be a long, I think this is going to be a long stop because they're going to have to fix some damage to that car. Kenny Myatt quietly through pit strategy has slotted his way up to third position. Vince Freeze is in fourth with Sean Angel in fifth. James Shelley sixth and John Arndt seventh. Now, the order's a little bit screwed up here because there aren't brake pad changes required in this race. This is the only ARCSOA Elite Series race where they are going to change the brake pads in the middle of the race because this track requires a lot of braking on it. It's a 130-mile race, but they've been experiencing a lot of brake pad wear here. So I don't think Baskinger has done that yet. Baskinger might be able to go through the entire race on a set of brakes, That could be a very important thing here, as everybody seems to be minding their P's and Q's. I think Myatt and Perkins are the only other 2 cars, and Prix and Angel. Okay, so, but Shelley, I think, is on a different set of brake pads. So Shelley, although he's damaged, I know Ike Durbin and Eric DeMax, they're a lap down. They have done brake pad changes. So we'll see if the leaders have to, though. I think Baskinger might here. More problems for William Brock, as he would have suspension issues, claimed from the roller coaster. Tough break for Brock. John Hart would actually get his rear end damage fixed. Will Hoyt wouldn't be able to yet, as they're battling for 7th position here, and this is a pretty intense battle here, as they're actually battling, I think, with Tauger. No, Tauger's a lap down, because I think he took he had some damage from something. And here they go 3 wide, entering a corner. This is where things are getting very aggressive here. You've got to be oh so careful around this track here. Make sure you don't make any mistakes through this leading section of the course. And just got to be really careful there, as Tauger is going to have to succeed both positions there. Obviously, he is a lap down, so he probably should. However, he is fighting Will Hoyt, though. James Shelley makes a move on Sean Angel for 5th position in a damaged Silver Speed car. Those cars are fast, but when it comes to that chicane, they've been having all kinds of issues with them. As this is just, like I said, one of the more difficult, one of the most difficult tracks we've gone to ever in ARCSOA. The fastest car on track right now is Kenny Myatt, who is blistering away speed-wise compared to Jake Baskinger and Sean Perkins, who are in front of him. Myatt seems like he's gotten the hang of this track and race pace and is really chasing down Sean Perkins in 2nd. And Jake Baskinger is starting to have his lead cut down a little bit. Perkins has closed in about 4 seconds on him on this stint here. But keep in mind, I don't exactly think that Baskinger's trying all that hard, because Perkins still is 10 seconds behind. But Perkins has got to push because Myatt's closing in really quickly on him as well. So Baskinger really has this race in control right now. And Baskinger still is being held up here by some of the lap cars. This is where things are getting pretty tricky for him, because you've got a couple of cars here that aren't handling well, like Aiden Shepard. You got Benjamin Dover, who's a couple of laps down, actually, 4 laps down. There's Scott Roush bringing it down pit road. Like I said, that pit road is such a crazy one to get on. I think Roush is the first car to make that move there. And like I said, it's just going to be a very, very interesting move there. Oh, Freeze is going to pit early, too. He's a lead lap car. He's running 4th, and he's bringing it down pit road. And there's Vincent Allen there, the Silver Speed car. I think he had a brake pad change, so that's why he's a lap down, actually. And but like I said, Baskinger's just been murdering everyone on pace, so... no, actually, he didn't. He's actually on pace in 18th. He's just slow, Vincent Allen is. And Baskinger's still being held up by Dover here, as Shepard has gotten by Dover. However, this is where things are going to get pretty intense here if you're Jake Baskinger, because you're going to be pitting pretty soon here. And like I said, that chicane has caught numerous cars out before. All depends on how aggressively you run it here. And looks like Baskinger is going to bring it down pit road here, but he gets on pit road cleanly once again. And we're going to see, Perkins goes wide. Myatt keeps under control. Oh, Perkins spins it on the other curb there, and that's going to put Kenny Myatt in 2nd position. And Perkins has stalled it on the curbing. So he's going to need to tow back. Oh, no, and he's, of course, on the wrong side of the track, too. So Perkins got it beached on the curbing. Arndt from 7th pits. Angel pits as well. Halleck would lose control there on the course as well. He wasn't even trying to pit, but he would lose control, as we've got pit stops starting here as Scott's coming in. And it looks like we're gonna see a bunch more cars start spinning here, I think, pretty quick here, as they're all trying to pit on these older tires. When the tires start going, that turn is just impossible to navigate. I think they might need to reconsider that chicane for next year. Tauger would lose it down there next, and he would send it off the road, kicking up a bunch of dirt here. Here comes Baskinger onto the scene. Baskinger would get through all right. Baskinger has not put a toe out of line all race. And there's dirt down there bad, so you're going to have a lot of cars just struggling to get through there. Oh, we got another car off. Halleck again goes off, so Halleck is struggling with that. He's going to come on and almost take out the 05 of Prix there. And just a very, very tough corner that is. Kenny Myatt doesn't have that long to go in this race, and he has to gain 8 seconds on Baskinger. However, Baskinger is, like I said, in cruise control, and Myatt's setting speed records around here in comparison to it. So Myatt is closing, but he's doesn't have a ton of time left around this track. It's a very, very difficult one. So you just got to be so careful here. You got only you got about 18 to go, so that's going to be hard. Points leader Dodd would lose control of the car and fire it into the pit, or fire it into the tires, so tough break here. He wasn't even trying to pit. Cohen would be the next car to throw it off the road and into the tires as well, so this is actually on newer tires, so people are actually really starting to screw that corner up there as well. Wallish is on pit road, but got onto it cleanly. DeMax is also on pit road. Even stuck behind lap traffic, Kenny Myatt is taking out about 0.7 of a second away from Baskinger here. Baskinger's car does not sound that healthy, so I'm kind of concerned with the way it's going to go for him here, because this doesn't sound very good for him, and he's being held up in traffic. There's still a long way to go in this race, and Myatt's going to try to move on the outside of the roller coaster. That's a scary place to make a move there. If you're Myatt, and you've got to really sail it over these humps right if you're going to do it. Looks like he's going to. Down to turn number, that's a tighter corner down there, and he is going to get that track position. No, he's not, actually. Lamas is fighting back. Lamas is not being that friendly with Myatt, and Myatt's going to have to succeed that, actually. Despite Myatt being held up that lap here, he did gain about 0.5 on Baskinger there. Baskinger is really struggling now. I wonder if something's wrong, if something's all right with that car there. He is having issues with it in comparison to Myatt, who is flying, especially with final pit stops coming up here. This is where things are going to get pretty intense between Baskinger and Myatt. Baskinger is going to have to make another pit stop here, and he's kind of having the same issue that Matty Myatt was having with Noah Hart here, as Shepard just gets off the corner really well, and Jake Baskinger can't off that last corner, and Kenny Myatt is right now 2 seconds faster than him. Vince Freeze would once again be the first lead lap car to pit as Roush goes off the road again. Roush is having all kinds of issues with that corner. I think that's like the 4th time he's gone off down there. Freeze is going to try and do a short pit strategy. The 9 is only 4.3 seconds behind Baskinger with only with a pit stop still to go in this race. About 13 laps to go in this one here. And that's how close the racing is here. There's the 73 up there. There's no cars in between the 9 and the 73. It's all about managing your speed through this S-bend complex here. Myatt goes a little wide there. Myatt's actually, I think, no, he's staying out once again. So he is going to try and stay on Baskinger's strategy here. That might be a good move, actually, here. And once again, he is markedly quicker than Jake Baskinger, almost a full second quicker than Baskinger. As you can see, there's the 9 in the background of the 73 shot. There's a bunch of cars coming down to the pits, I think, pretty soon here that are lap cars. We got a couple cars off. That's Roush once again off down there, but this time he had help from Brock, his teammate. Remember, those two helped each other there, and is going to come on right in front of Jake Baskinger. Baskinger's going to pit. Myatt's going to follow him in, and this is going to be the most important pit stop of the day. Here's what happened between Brock and Roush here, and around goes Roush into the wall. No sense even denying that, well, that was just a marked issue with that corner there. And this is where things are going to get wild. They're parked front and back from each other. They're waiting on fuel here. Baskinger goes, Myatt goes. This is going to be a duel at the end here, I believe. Unless if Baskinger can really pick up speed, I think this could be Myatt's day if Myatt can get by. Baskinger needs to get speed. They have the lap car of Bouchard in between Baskinger and Myatt, so that could be good for Jake Baskinger. However, Bouchard would get by Baskinger, actually. So Baskinger is really got a problem with that car, and that is not good for Baskinger here. And Myatt now, with 11 to go, is massively closing in. So this is going to be the way that the Catawba Central race ends. Kenny Myatt won his first ARCSOA Elite Series victory in the round of Ohio. This could, if he wins this race, this could be his last. Bouchard throws it off the road. Will he affect Myatt? Myatt goes by. And Myatt is really close now to Baskinger. Johan Art would throw it off the road here from 18th position. He was, of course, lapped down, not running really quick, except on that high curb. He would roll the car, actually, and fall out of the race. So that's a new one. I've never seen a stock car getting flipped by a high curb before. But right there we saw him. Then he would drive into the pit wall. Myatt now smells blood here on Jake Baskinger. Baskinger has dominated this race, but his car does not look very healthy right now. Even on the outlap, Myatt was about a half-second quicker than him, and Myatt had a slower pit stop. Here they go. This is where things get wild now. Baskinger is a little bit more squirrely through that corner. Myatt's very quick through there. This is the closest anyone has been to Baskinger since the start of the race. 1:17.5 compared to a 1:16.8. So this is going to be your race right here between these two cars. Who's in third in case if it goes wrong? That's James Shelley. And this is going to be a thrilling showdown between car 9 and 73. Myatt's coming off of injury, keep in mind. He was out since Indianapolis, and practically to stay in championship contention needs a victory. And remember, in the start of the race, we thought we were counting him out at the start of the race now, and he's just overall played the endurance card correctly. Myatt was a little better over the bumps, however, Baskinger kind of dropped the anchor there and kind of kept him behind. At this rate, I don't know how much Baskinger can really do if that car's really is hurting as much as it is. Baskinger actually was a little bit quicker that lap. Maybe that car's starting to come back here. However, through here's where Myatt's been really quick in comparison here, and there's going to be a lot of lap cars here. I don't think Myatt actually gained all that much. Actually, he might have lost a little bit there. 1:16.8 to 1:16.8. So, or 1:16.6 to a 1:16.8. So Myatt actually lost 2/10 there. So now Baskinger maybe was just toying with everybody. However, he's coming up to his favorite lap car, Aiden Shepard, then Sean Angel, and then William Brock, who has been another lap car who's been nothing sort of an issue for him. And now Baskinger now is really being held up by Aiden Shepard here. It's all going to be dependent on lapped traffic now. Shepard goes wide, doesn't want to get into the battle here, but no, he will. Because Baskinger kind of didn't get a good run through that corner here as they go down to the chicane again. As this chicane is going to be crucial as Myatt's closer than he's ever been. Myatt gets a good run off the corner here. Angel and up in front of him didn't. And this is it. This is absolutely it. And Baskinger's going to try and make a move on Angel. That's an aggressive move here. And Baskinger is going to lose a ton of time doing it, though. How easily will the 9 get by the 81? Then 81 goes wide here, and the 9 gets a better run around him. These are two veterans of the sport. Remember, Myatt's going to be retiring at the end of the year. There's Eric DeMax as well. That's a battle not for position, actually, because Angel's actually in front of DeMax. As Baskinger now is realizing he is in a race right now. He thought he was going to cruise to victory today, and now the 9 has really showed up in this race. The 9 is right on Baskinger now with only a handful of laps to go. Down low he goes. This is for the race here. Not going to get up there, try to get to a bumper here as the lap cars in front of him are battling here. Oh boy, this race has really heated up here as William Brock now gets passed by Aiden Shepard. Once again, Baskinger didn't get a good run there. Myatt's going for the lead now, but I don't think he's going to get it because Baskinger's got more power down the straight than Myatt does. Not going to get it by the 9 there. But the 9 is right on him, once again entering 1. Oh boy, this is what we wanted to see out of this race. And Baskinger slides wide, the 9's down low. But he's going to be on the outside for the roller coaster, but will it matter? No, it won't. 9 takes the lead. Kenny Myatt's now the leader of this race, coming back from injury. Oh, we got a crash. That's Benjamin Dover and James Shelley. Shelley has hit it already, so he actually fell down to 10th. And now Shelley's out, so the former third place car now is out of the race as Kenny Myatt drives by. Vince Freeze is now in third position. Fourth is now a battle between DJ Curtis and John Arndt. Curtis just got Arndt there. Wow, that's a surprise. DJ Curtis, now that everybody's kind of cycling through the brake pad changes, that was a big factor in this race. But Kenny Myatt's starting to gap Jake Baskinger little by little. However, Myatt's got some lap car trouble now. He's having an issue with Brock and with Shepard. Baskinger, with all his straight line speed, is looking underneath Myatt now for the lead. And he's going to grab it, I think, here. Baskinger set him up perfectly. But will Myatt be able to fight back? Baskinger has more straight line speed. This is a duel for the victory here. I know the fans want to see that 9 in victory lane, but it looks like Baskinger's going to take it back. After being held up by a couple of cars in front of him, Kenny Myatt's going to lose the lead. However, Myatt's got another chance to fight it back. Baskinger, now with only a couple of laps to go in this race, now is stuck behind heavy lap traffic. And this is going to be another interesting battle here, as now Baskinger's got... If Baskinger gets by Brock, this could be game over for Myatt. And it looks like Baskinger is looking underneath Brock for that position here. However, it's all going to be dependent on how Myatt gets by. There's Ray Hall now coming out of the pits. There's contact. Baskinger's up there. There's 3 wide. There's contact even more. That forces Brock even wider. And now there are 2 cars between William Brock or between Kenny Myatt and Jake Baskinger. Baskinger might have just stolen this one back. However, there's more lap cars in front of Baskinger here. And Myatt is right now kicking himself, pleading the officials to get those 2 lap cars out of the way here. There's some battling further up the track here in front of Baskinger. And this is where things are going to get wild now. There's Bobby Jones there. Baskinger, Wallish is very slow on track. Looks like Wallish might have lost a tire there right in the middle of the pack. Baskinger goes by. Myatt's trying to get by Brock here. Keep in mind, there's only 2 laps to go in this race, and I think Baskinger now has enough lap cars in between himself and Myatt to possibly have gotten this one here. Myatt gets by Wallish. He's got to get by Dover this lap if he wants any chance next lap to get Baskinger on the last lap. Baskinger has Bouchard in front of him. Here is Myatt now still trying to get by Dover as they're coming to take the white flag. There's a bunch of cars in front of Baskinger here. Baskinger's trying 3 wide way down low. There might go 4 wide on a road course on the last lap of the race. That is a scary situation for Baskinger there. But will it turn out all right? They're 3 wide through a kink here. This is going to be... Oh boy, this is craziness for Baskinger. Baskinger makes contact. Bouchard's around. And oh my goodness, there's Monaco now with Myatt. Myatt gets by, but I think Baskinger just won himself the race there with that 4 wide pass to get by a bunch of lap cars. That was probably the greatest pass I've ever seen in my life on a road course. 4 wide down to turn 1 at one point. And Myatt can't do anything about it. He's stuck behind Roush. And Baskinger only has a couple of corners to go on this track, this just under 2-mile track. Baskinger has dominated this race, absolutely dominated it. And now he's going to come off for the chicane for the final time. As long as he doesn't dog it here, he's going to win this race, and he doesn't. Myatt's actually racing with Monaco there, but Jake Baskinger comes off the final corner to win the Hall of Fame Grand Prix of Ohio. Second goes to Kenny Myatt. He tried everything in the book to get that win away. Third is going to go all the way to Vince Freeze. Right there's your podium. Let's go down to your full finishing results. So Jake Baskinger wins the inaugural race here at Catawba Central International Raceway. Kenny Myatt, I know the fans wanted to see him. came home second. See him win. Kenny Mike came home second in one of the most impressive charges I've ever seen in my life. Third goes to Vince Fries. Fourth goes to John Arndt. Fifth goes to Pericles. Sixth goes to Will Hoyt. Seventh goes to Bisceglia. Eighth goes to Curtis. Ninth goes to Noah Hart. I don't know how he did that. And 10th to Bobby Jones. Those are the only cars on the lead lap. Rounding out your points is Monaco, Angel, Perkins, DeMax, and Vincent Allen. So, of course, there will be well, DeMax is pulling away in the part-time championship even more. I'm thinking Vincent Allen's going to win that. Vanderpesch 16th, Ace Vito 17th. And you got a bunch of cars 2 laps down because of the way things kind of slotted out there. Zuman Bekov 18th. 19th Tauger, 20th Shepard, 21st for Caldwell, 22nd for Bouchard, 23rd for Lamas, 24th for Fitzwater, 25th for Dunbar, 26th for Halleck, 27th for Rahal, 28th for Dover, 29th for Scott, 30th for Walsh, 31st for Durbin, 32nd for Roush, 33rd for Brock, 34th first car out goes to Shelley, 35th Allen is out, Cohen is out, Arndt is out, Dodd is out, Myatt's out, gets an engine strike there. Padcar's out, Davidson is out, and Tyler Thaber are all out of the race. Let's go down to your full points after the round of Ohio. Before we get on to the full points, I forgot to mention that our driver, Jake Baskinger, our winner today, got 10 bonus points for his pole at Indianapolis. So he actually got 10 extra points for that. We forgot about that. And then John Arndt got 10 points for his pole as well, so he came out of here with 28 points in Catawba Peninsula. Or you're out of the Catawba Peninsula with 28 points. So you can get 90 points the rest of the year. You can win 30 points for Donut City. If you get the pole at Amaria, you get 10 points, and then you can get 50 for a win at Amaria. So Chris Dodd at 199 is still your point leader, with Noah Hart at 193, Baskinger at 192. Jones, Bouchard, Ace Vito, Angel, Bisceglia, Tauger, Curtis, Arndt, Kenny Myatt, Pericles, Padcar, and especially Padcar, Brock, and Shepard. They have got to they've got to do some miracles at Donut City. They want any shot. Even if you're Kenny Myatt, you got to really start pulling something crazy off. Now, granted, Amaria is a bit of a toss race, but beyond that, because you can win 50 points right there, but that's going to be a pretty hard act to follow, if you ask me. Rahal, Matty Myatt, Vince Fries, Eric Monaco, Roush, Allen, Will Hoyt, Halleck, Moss, Fitzwater, Griffin, Gurian, Dover, Vanderpesch, Vincent Allen, Thaber, Davidson, Shelley, Lamas, Wallace, Shellrot, Caldwell, Hoffman, Dormitory, Moore, Cohen, DeMax, Perkins, Dunbar, Thaber, Johan Arndt, Travis Scott, Victor Vidam, and Ike Durbin are all mathematically eliminated. However, Rookie of the Year is still with 90 points up for grabs. Rookie of the Year is still up for grabs by anybody, because Halleck, the point leader, only has 65 points. And keep in mind, there is only 60 points up for grab for part-time championship, so basically any of them can win it too. Heck, somebody can come in and get the pole and win the round of Amaria and win the part-time championship. With that being said, we will see you for the round of the Exbalto Islands, the very controversial round of the Exbalto Islands, on the streets of Donut City for the penultimate race of the ARCSOA Elite Series Championship.